Hi, it's Leslie Meredith with another episode of the Breakbulk Americas preview. And in this one, we're going to do a deep dive into one of our main stage sessions on air cargo solutions. Here we're going to talk about the crisis and what got us here and what the impact is. So if this is part of your operations, please stay tuned. In this segment, we are going to do a deep dive into one of the sessions that's on the main agenda, on the main stage at Breakbulk Americas. And this one is about air cargo solutions. And I have the creator of this session with me here in the studio, Fayçal from CargoLive. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Leslie.
Yeah, I want to start off by thanking you for bringing this issue to our attention so that we're going to be able to share it with the entire Breakbulk and Project Cargo community. So
I think it's very exciting. I'm really looking forward to the panel.
Yeah,
session.
It's going to be good. Give us some background. Tell us what the problem is, what the challenges are right now, how you see them developing, and then sort of working backwards. How did we get here?
Well, the current situation is that many of us, project forwarders, customers, but also asset and fleet operators are facing shortages, difficulties in accessing the aircrafts and accessing very specialized equipment that used to offer quite a bit of solutions, and both in terms of fast track solutions in CapEx and in production environment. Think of oil and gas companies, oil rigs that need an urgent part to be transported off in a remote area where you do not necessarily have the tools at hand to reassemble a piece of equipment. Equipment like an Antonov 1-4 becomes crucial. Let's even think about 747s and main deck nose loading capabilities. The situation today reflects that most of the aircrafts have been allocated to supply possibilities and capabilities to the online world that we live in today, and bringing much needed commodities to the markets. So a lot of these assets have been committed to these market segments for a long time. This means that on an ad hoc situation, companies and customers have less access to these capabilities. One of the unfortunate recent geopolitical issues that happened, the Russian-Ukraine war, has seen one of the major players somewhat disappear from the market. Volga-dnepr Group was the largest contributor in terms of Antonov 1-4 Ilyushin 76, but also 18 nose-loading capable 747s. That fleet is basically almost completely restricted. This means for the market that in terms of moving oversized, over-dimensional equipment, this becomes a real problem, a real challenge. We should also keep in mind that around the assets, the engineering or the transport engineering dissipates as well, so that capability disappears from the market.
That is a big problem.
That is indeed.
And it sounds to me that there's no quick solution here. Would you agree?
Unfortunately, you're right. Indeed, it is aviation and aircraft or fleet management is a very complex and difficult task. First of all, relaunching or reshaping existing aircraft is a long procedure. It is very cost intensive, and it has to go through a lot of red tape. So it's not like, hey, we can bring out a new Antonov out of the back pocket in 2 years' time. The hope is that the fleet that is currently not truly accessible will somehow come back to the market under a different format in the next 1 to 2 years. We also hope that let's hope that the market will plateau a little bit, and part of the existing 747 nose loading capable aircrafts will bleed back into the ad hoc availability.
All right, so let's circle back to your panel. Who will be participating in that panel, and what are your objectives there?
Well, we've chosen 3 specific pylons from the industry. We have one representative from the aircraft side or fleet management side, Mr. Reza Fazlollahi from Airbus Beluga Fleet and Services. And he will explain us how Airbus is working with an existing tool by relaunching and redeveloping loading techniques and make it possible to move over-dimensional freight on the market. I can share that Airbus is right now at the very first steps of developing this and bringing this aircraft into the market. The second participant is Mr. Axel Kaldschmidt, who is the vertical head for Aerospace, Government and Marine Solutions with Schenker Americas. He has been in the market for a long time. He is a known person. He's known for his expertise, especially in the realm of aviation, having worked with the likes of a Boeing and an Airbus, contributing to the supply chain of manufacturing aircrafts. So he's an ideal person to hear from a freight forwarder, providing feedback to the community on how they see the current situation and where they believe it should move, but also who should be talking to one another to create new solutions. A third panelist has not been confirmed yet, but we're looking for a panelist that comes from the shipper side or the project owner side to hear from them how they currently assess the situation and how they work with the situation. Example is how do they rate a risk assessment? What do we do as plan B or plan C in case ocean doesn't work?
Right. All right. Well, I have to say that this sounds like an absolutely fascinating panel, and I know I'll be in that audience, and I hope that everyone else will too. I think this is a tremendous opportunity to be actually part of building a solution. So again, thank you, and we will look forward to seeing you and your panelists on stage.
We look forward to a very strong audience and a participating audience as well.
Excellent.